Yeah. For everyone who doesn't know, on Twitter, I said that I decided that until we get official word one way or the other on whether or not Henry Cavill is still Superman, I'm going to lovingly refer to him as Schrodinger's Clark.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty happy with you. It's one of those moments where it was like, that's why I love that man. Good job.
Holy shnikes, we have us a Birds of Prey trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the only Birds of Prey news we have.
And how?
I think it's going to be a fun one. I'm David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
You're listening to DC On Screen, the podcast that covers the DC Comics multiverse on film and television, gives honest opinions on projects upcoming and past, and believes that every version of a property is valid, even if we really don't want it to be. I ain't feeling any of that this week. If it's been released, it's fair game, so beware of spoilers and welcome to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a spoiler somehow for our show this week, because I am just so friggin' excited about like everything that's come out.
Filling the Aster.
Filling the Aster.
Just fun to say. Yeah,
it
it's
is.
been good stuff though this week.
Yeah, and you know, I was excited to find that last night that they were teasing a trailer for today. So just gotta jump right on in. Right after this, though, that is, if you if we're not too terribly annoying and you would like to support us over on Patreon, the $5 tier will get you every episode ad-free. Plus stuff like Jason's pull list. And I just recorded a conversation with Scott Madison last night. We did a Star Trek podcast together. And then afterward, we just sat and talked for a while. And some of that conversation was really pretty cool. So I think that's going to wind up on the Patreon feed here in the next couple days.
Fittingly enough, the next pull list is going to be the Prestige format 64-page Harleen issue 1. Also pretty cool. And I can't remember if that's 1 of 6 or 1 of 9. Just slipping in my mind at the moment. But either way, it's going to be like plenty long.
Yeah. But yeah. We're gonna have some fun. By the way, if you sign up for that $1 tier on Patreon, you will get the ad-free normal episodes. But you don't get the extra episodes.
Right.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. So
sadness.
As you will. We appreciate every patron, and even the people who aren't patrons who support us through shares and through word of mouth. My Lord, you have no idea. You
or
have
just
no
plain
idea
feeling
what it means.
happy.
Yeah. Let us know how you're feeling, and even if you message us and say, "Hey, we love you, but the show kind of sucked this week," I'm like, dude, thanks for loving us.
Glad you were there anyway.
Get more in depth about how you don't like it, and I'll try to see if I care.
Yeah, try to use caps lock and exclamation points as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I will always care, but if you're belligerent or something, that kind of puts a damper. Anyway, this Birds of Preyler.
I like that more.
Yeah. That's sometimes you stumble upon greatness.
Really, I really do like that more.
We have the Birds of Preyler.
Now I'm sad
here.
there was something missing from the Preyler.
Okay, so this thing already looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
this thing, cinematography wise, already looks gorgeous. I didn't notice right away. I've seen this trailer now probably 4 times, and I noticed someone on Twitter as I was, scrolling through, brought up the how it's probably Black Mask's club, and the hands with the eyes over Black Canary is like Black Mask sort of always being in the club. That was a really cool take. But yeah, I love this whole thing, man. You know what a Harley Quinn is?
It does look like it's his club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, just based on that one shot of him kind of walking away with the going to be a good, everybody having a good time thing.
Yeah, and I am not getting this this flamboyant vibe off of him that everyone has, or that so many people have reported. I'm just not. I'm getting
Definitely
eccentric
Yeah, eccentric's better. And flamboyant is for sure not a word I would use, although I haven't seen anything more than a few seconds. But the moments that I have seen, he's exuberant for sure.
Right.
But I'm digging it. Like he's got a really good accent for where he is. And he seems to be enjoying himself a lot, which always makes for a good villain, you know? Like,
yeah. I love it right out of the gate. She says, you know what a Harley Quinn is? A Harley Quinn's role is to serve as nothing without a master, and no one gives two shits who we are beyond that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, good starting point.
Every bit of dialogue that I hear in this trailer, I love it. I love that he says Miss Quinn belongs to him. Here's the deal, Quinn. You need me. It's going to be fun. This is just like a sleepover. We should order pizza and make Cosmos.
Okay, I couldn't figure out what she was saying. Make Cosmos. I like that.
Yeah, make Cosmos. Harley, focus.
Not gonna lie, that sounds fun.
And I showed this thing to my wife, and at the point where she says, I'm the one they should be scared of. Not you, not Mr. J, because I'm Harley frickin' Quinn. My wife goes, is she like one of the best actresses or best actors is what she said in the world? I'm like, I maybe. I swear I heard Arlene Sorkin in that voice, man, when she said Harley friggin' Quinn.
It was good. It was really good. Like, she clearly is taken from that, I don't know, the BTAS version of that kind of North England or New England twang. Does a great job with it. She sounds fantastic. And also, another person who, in the course of this movie and the course of this trailer, really sounds like she's having a good time. You know, short of the stuff up front where she's taking shots and really
cutting her hair.
Yeah, really mad and sad up front. And what looks like a scene somewhere in the middle where she's going to be very sad about something. But she, like, you can tell Margot Robbie is really having a good time. And that's going to come across pretty hard. I liked it here. Get you excited.
And, dude, you know, I mean, looking at all of her costume changes, all I got to say is fabulous. You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
You know, I was iffy on the plastic thingy, but one, it doesn't look like it's going to be there for too long. So even if I don't end up liking it, you know, we're going to be all right. We'll move past it. And, you know, secondly, I think I do like it more. Like, I don't think I liked it as much in the screen test. I think I like it more with better lighting.
Yeah.
Kind of pops better for me. Like all the
well,
colors.
you know, they gotta do their color grades and stuff.
Yeah.
No. I loved seeing her just shattering that dude's leg in the club. Yes.
Was that a leg?
Yes,
I thought it was a testicle.
Oh, no, it was a leg. He had his legs up on the coffee table.
He did. Okay.
She just jumped up and right on the knee, man. That's what it looked like.
Oh, thank goodness. I mean, that still hurts to hear, but when I heard that crunch, and it is a very audible crunch, like the Foley artist took a walnut or something and just popped that thing. It sounded bad. It sounded bad for that testicle. I'm sort of glad for whoever that is. If that's his knee instead, I don't know how he feels about it. What choice he'd make, but oof.
I suspect he's not making it out anyway.
It was brutal. Yeah, probably not.
Just like that poor son of a bitch who was basically in the hyena's eye view. Did you see the hyena like running up to the dude?
Yeah, yeah. By the way, the hyenas in general.
The hyena eating licorice with Harley.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. That was good. I mean, I just love that they're there. That's awesome.
It looks like one hyena.
Was it just one? One's fine. Yeah. I don't need more than one.
Yeah, I don't need more than one. I keep seeing people on Twitter complaining, there's no black mask. I'm like, you whine babies bastard. Look at this. Roman is having a breakdown with his artwork behind him. The art is of a person in a black mask. The black mask is branching off and strangling someone who is unmasked. Not to mention the fact that we have Harley in this dance number and all the dudes around her are wearing black masks. Like, they're getting to the black mask, y'all.
Yeah, it's trailer 1. It may still be in this film. Don't worry yet. And even if it's not, is that big a deal? I mean, if it's a fun enough villain, who cares? But
it looks like it is.
I
going
would
to
prefer it. Definitely. If you had just asked me yes or no, would you prefer to have it? Yeah, I would prefer to have it. If it's not a deal breaker, I'd be all right.
It's not a deal breaker, but it's like you watch the thing one time, don't notice any of the black mask imagery that's all over this damn trailer.
Oh yeah, there's a ton. Thematically, it is name checked several times.
There's
plenty of stuff there.
Makes me so angry. Anyway,
also that looks like it may be a Trank dream. the dance number.
It might be,
because I swear there's one shot where she's got a trank in her neck. So
yeah, I did see that. I did see the trank.
I would guess that the dance number is like I don't know, one of those like knocked out dreams.
Mm-hmm. I loved her handing the dynamite to Cassandra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of fun there.
And if you really look at what Margot Robbie is doing, especially in that scene, that I noticed it specifically in that scene. She's making freaking. It's like she studied Bruce Timm character designs, like the what do you call them when you break down how the animation guidebook.
I do know what you're talking about. It's that shot where you have like a
multiple
quarter drawn profile
yes.
and straight on and all that. You have multiple heads, multiple faces, and then you even a couple syllables on there normally, so you can kind of see what the mouth is supposed to look like and the face is supposed to look like in a lot of variations.
Yes,
it's like the animation version of a show Bible.
Yeah,
per character.
It looks like Margot Robbie has been watching Batman the Animated Series, studying those expression charts.
I don't disagree. I wonder if it's if she did her homework, or at least somebody gave her the right homework to do and said, we want you to be able to hit these beats. That's possible. It could also just be that they cast someone that just is fucking perfect for the role.
Yeah.
It could just be that she naturally went that way with the character and they were like, oh yeah, that's definitely, yeah, that's got a real animated series feel to it. We should get her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. It's been years now. I don't remember how that went down with her casting. I do remember it went over really well. I mean, generally people kind of looked at her and thought about Harley and went, yeah, that could definitely work.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who cast her or what, but
it's been years. Yeah. Great job. But it's been years. I don't know if there was any kind of kerfuffle or backstory to it. I don't remember it.
Yeah. So I'm all about this. Did you notice the freaking, the glass, the martini glass shaking with Black Canary singing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes, that.
Yes. Meta.
Yes, very much that.
Meta that shit up.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to subdue her power any. I think she's going to be powered.
Yeah, we got
I think
mobsters and shit. We've got yes, Helena. Yes.
Yeah, looks fantastic.
Yeah, Huntress.
Yeah, that little scene in the alley. You get. It looks like the same time of day, same set.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you see him exactly back to back in the trailer, but it definitely looks like she's kind of looking down the barrel at Harley, and Harley gives her all right, let's get us an old Donnybrook on,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was one of the things I saw on Twitter. I can't remember who said it. Someone said I unfollowed them.
We're deeply offended, apparently.
I was. They said WB releases Birds of Prey trailer without Birds of Prey, or a Birds of Prey trailer where they're fighting Black Mask without Birds of Prey or Black Mask.
Hot take alert.
Yep, and I just unfollowed. I just couldn't do it because the Birds of Prey traditionally have been Oracle, Black Canary, and Huntress.
Mm-hmm.
With Cassandra Cain sometimes in there, sometimes not.
Yeah, I mean, so we're already at 2/3 birds.
We're at 2/3 full capacity on birds
with a side dish of extra quintessential bird.
Quintessential, nice.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
And I saw at least 20 black masks in that trailer. They just didn't happen to be on Roman Sionis's head yet. So
cool down. Wait, hold on. This is almost our catchphrase at this point. What is it?
Wait a damn second. Wait a give them a damn second.
We can't ever agree on what we've said the most. It's somewhere between wait a second and give them a damn minute, or give them a damn second.
Something like that.
Or wait a fucking minute. I don't know. But
this is why we can't have nice things.
No, we don't need nice things.
Like catchphrases.
No. Those are broken. It's a broken idea anyway. We don't necessarily need them. But thematically, we have that going on. Give them a fucking second.
and whatever
that
the catchphrase is
at this moment on this day, my favorite version of that phrasing. So that's
it just keeps evolving to become more and more angry. Yeah, man.
It was probably let's wait it out originally.
So they have released some posters and they look fantastic. There's a poster of Harley with the hyena.
A lot of fun.
Did you notice Harley's tattoo?
Which one?
On her arm. If you basically zoom in on it, it's the same Joker tattoo she had from Suicide Squad, the J, except the J has now been altered to have the top half of a woman coming out of it, so it looks like a mermaid or
Nice.
a siren. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, man.
Cool.
That's a nice
Cool.
touch.
Also, she's she's moved on. She's still got all of the original Link, and there's some stuff that I guess she's changed, and her outfits are just as eccentric, and she's still going to be Harley apparently. But the Joker, if you just looked at the progression of the movies you've seen so far, which is really just Suicide Squad, but if that's all you've seen, and that was the Joker as you've seen him, he could be completely gone after this trailer, and it would, for the universe as it still exists in whatever form it's going to be, and I guess they'll call that the main story or the A story. He could just not come back. They made such a point of, she's throwing knives at his visage and stuff like that. That was good, and I don't mind, but it's it kind of, as I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, they could just walk away from him, from like the Leto Joker, and use this film, and it would make sense in universe.
They could. I'm not sure they are willing to. I
don't even want them to. I'm just watching the trailer and watching that development early on in the first like 30 seconds. I thought, they could just walk away.
They could. What do you think about Montoya? Looks like she's definitely leaving the Force for some reason or another.
Oh yeah, no, she's got the classic, brown box and all that crap. The little filing box that for some reason people take
to take their stuff home.
Yeah. Actually, if I ever get fired from anything that's near tangentially an office job, I'm going to demand I get that box before I leave. Just be like, no, you can't officially fire me until I have that box.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen anything ever, but
I have to have the box.
I have to have the box.
Well, you don't have an office.
Until then, I will be
Jason.
drawing pay. Thank you very much.
You don't have an office. You don't have any personal effects. I want my box.
I do have a sort of desk. I can clean out the 7 or 8 things I keep under it. And be on my merry way.
The wayward Alabama hat.
I am going to, by the way, do the trope where if this ever happens, I'm going to grab someone else's stapler and throw it in the box so I can have that conversation you've seen 100 times. Like, that's my stapler. Fuck off. It's mine now.
I don't think I've ever seen that conversation.
I feel like I've seen that a lot.
I'm not sure you're not just having dreams about how you would like to leave a job.
That's possible. I mean, I like this job.
Supplied staplers.
That's new. I'm dealing with that. But it seems like I've seen that several times before. Either way, there's always a stapler in the box. You always throw a stapler in.
Right.
Maybe that's why I'm thinking of it. Maybe if I haven't seen that before, it's why I'm thinking of it. Because every time I see the stapler in the box, I think, no one has their own stapler.
I feel like you have to take a small plant.
Oh, yeah. I should grab a plant. We don't have any plants at work, though.
No.
The only one I know of is a fake plant upstairs in one guy's office who's never done anything to me whatsoever. And it would be hilarious to walk in and demand to grab that plant to leave.
Yeah.
I need it for scenery, John. You've been really nice to me. It's been good working with you. Thank you. I need this for effect, though.
I like your mustache.
Yeah. You keep rocking, man. I hope. Wish you the best. I'm taking your plant.
All right. So this thing definitely looks hard R. And I'm down, man. It looks so good. I love everything that I've seen. I really do.
Yeah. Looks good. The action looks fantastic. Like you said, it seems shot well. The dialogue so far sounds on point. I like where the characters are coming from. I'm pretty happy with it.
And it doesn't, a lot of people have said like that they're worried that it's going to be too funny. I don't think so far. Like, it just seems quirky. It doesn't seem funny necessarily. I mean, it does seem funny in places, but not like...
there's going to be some laughs in here. And there should be, but worrying about a film being too funny when the main character is, a play on the name Harlequin. Yeah. That's not, you can't do that. You're not allowed.
Well, specifically, I don't feel like it's going to be, one, Deadpool funny.
No, we're not going that way with it.
I don't think it's going to have that tone. Or two, Guardians of the Galaxy or Thor Ragnarok funny. Which those are the 3 examples I see most when people are... Well, I say people. When a certain sect of DC fans, who shall not be specifically categorized here, complain about humor in the DCEU.
Right. No, I think what we're going to go up against here is Shazam funny. Like that level and amount. No, I think it'll be that. Like if you just took the beats of Shazam, where there's a laugh, what would you call it? Every 3 minutes on average? If you, I think we're looking at maybe that rate, and maybe that attempt at humor, like Deadpool really goes for the laugh, like hard, and it's great. It's great for the character, and those are great films. But and I'm not even sure like a Harley Quinn movie that went for the laugh like that wouldn't be a lot of fun. But I don't know if that's what we're getting into here. And I think maybe that tempo still on the jokes, and I don't think they're going to try as hard for them. I think they're going to maybe focus mainly on Harley just being slightly insane. But when it's not going to be like when I say Shazam funny, I don't mean Shazam and then it's going to go back to like, it's not going to be like heartfelt Shazam moments. When they go away from the funny, it's going to go kind of more Deadpoolish. Yeah. That part is to me more analogous about how they're going to use the Deadpool maybe vibe. Is when we go violent, we're going to fucking go violent.
Yes, I'm
people going to get broke.
I'm all in on that. Yeah. And it's funny because
I think the dark moments are going to be really dark.
I so often say that I have
like BVS dark.
Little interest in action. I very often say that I have little interest in that. And I find that's not the case when it's like brutal, hard R-rated violence with humor.
Oh, yeah.
I think I might be unwell.
No, that's an okay thing to fall into. Where you're like, I mean, I don't like absolute gore just for the sake of it. I mean, the Kill Bill movies kill me. They made no sense to me.
I don't remember enjoying Kill Bill 1, but I do plan to watch it again now that I've had some time to breathe and to remember, or to not really remember, to I've gotten more accustomed to what it is Tarantino does. So
I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna let you go on that journey alone.
That's fine.
I'm not even trying to hate on the guy. I don't like him, but I don't want to say he's doing anything poorly. He's clearly doing something really well. A lot of people really love him. I just it doesn't hit me. But like that kind of cartoonish violence with no comedic payoff. It's maybe like a piece of the diagram where like that doesn't work for you. That's fine. Comedy just for the comedy's sake is one thing, but with like comedy with like stupid crazy violence, that's kind of fun too. Like some of the parts of Shaun of the Dead where it's just cartoonish over the top. Oh my God, but really funny as well.
Yeah, I did. That's
like the girl who impales herself in the backyard on like the little. I don't even know what that is. I think it's supposed to hold one of those little thingies with the rope on it that you hit around the stick.
Oh yeah.
Bloody Mary, as she's known in the film. But yeah, like that kind of stuff's, I don't know, to me hilarious.
I'll tell you this.
I totally get it.
It's so over the top, and I'm. It's one of those where like people think that I'm like, oh, it's one of your guilty pleasures. I'm like, I'm not. I don't feel guilty about it at all. I really enjoy the Transporter movies. They are ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous, just stupid,
just unjustifiably insane.
I love Jason Statham though. I think he's, if I were casting a Batman movie, he would be my Alfred.
That's fair. He would be a fun one.
I really like that.
That are a lot of fun sometimes. Like I watched John Wick the other day for no good reason, just because I wanted to see the fight scenes, and they were fantastic.
I'm getting worn down on John Wick.
There's only 3 of them, and I don't really. I've only seen the first, and it's not something I consume with any purpose other than just being like, well, you know what, screw it, let's see what this does.
Right, and that's
it's
what
like
I'm saying.
Fun
like,
action for a couple hours, and then it's gone. It's over. It's done.
Yeah, the Baba Yaga thing bothers me, but I feel like I am getting worn down a bit. I still think you're going too far with the Baba Yaga thing. I'm saying I'm inching closer to watching it. All right, I'm inching closer. I
think that bothered you for reasons that I don't know. I don't think it should have bothered you, but
sometimes you just make that desperate grasp for a reason not to watch a thing.
I've been there. I don't remember. I mean, I would say all of Tarantino I do that with.
Yeah.
Just about any movie or trailer of his, I'm like, there's that thing with the blah, 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 and I don't care. And the fact is, I don't have time. I don't really want to. There are other things I would rather do with my time. Like, even if I tried to force it, the whole time I'd be sitting there thinking, like, I would really rather be doing something else. So it's just never going to make it. So, yeah, sometimes you just kind of flesh out that negative space of like, we're not going to do this.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but it might happen. Not for a while, though, because all the shows are about to start back up. And
oh, yeah, I know.
I'm almost an entire season behind on
Pennyworth. I'm not telling you, like, just having seen the first one, you're not missing a cinematic masterpiece here. It was just kind of fun for a few hours.
Yeah, and that's what I figured. People are going to be so pissed off that we said that.
Yeah, sorry.
So, okay, Joker movie. That's coming out this weekend, or this week, I should say. Deadline is saying that domestically, they're projecting 80+ million.
That's solid. I would put that at... Did we decide what their budget was? Because I feel like it was around 40.
I don't know. I feel like we looked it up at some point, and I didn't look that up. I'm sure they'd be fine. Like either way, like I don't think they spent more than 55 million looks like.
55?
Yeah.
Did you get from the numbers? Oh yeah, I got 55 too. Yeah, from the same place. They're reliable. That's probably a good number.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great first weekend take.
Yeah, and Deadline is saying worldwide 155 million. Looks like 75 million tracking in Europe.
God, if there was a stock I could buy in the Joaquin Joker Halloween costumes. Oh my God, I would have buried every cent in it.
Yeah, it's probably fair.
I mean, Harley too. Harley always does well. And now she's got several outfits you could choose from. But man, that Joker, you're going to see a lot of Joker outfits this time.
You're going to see a lot of Harley next year because Birds of Prey comes out February.
Then too. I swear every time Harley has like a shimmer of mainstream access for a second, her costume just rockets.
And she never truly goes away.
Yeah.
All right.
She's one of those characters over the last few years. They've built her into something that's like way beyond the expectations of some sidekick in an animated show in the 90s.
I know.
That was a throwaway character.
So fantastic.
Isn't it great?
I love that. All right. So let's see how you feel about this. Jeffrey Wright is apparently in talks to play Commissioner Gordon in Matt Reeves' Batman movie.
Yeah, I know the guy.
Hunger Games, Westworld.
That was what I was going to ask. Where have I seen him? I have seen him in Hunger Games. But it's been a while, and I never quite finished that franchise. Again, nothing against it. Not enough time in the day. I couldn't think of where I know him from, but I know the guy. Like I've seen him several times.
Yeah, he's been around, man. I mean, the two things I mentioned are what I know him from specifically. I would specifically like to pledge my allegiance to him based on those things that I know him from.
Nice.
Because I think he's a fine choice. The only thing I don't like about this is, we're not really going to say he's going to turn into J.K. Simmons. So let's just go ahead and put that Matt Reeves movie outside of DCEU canon.
Yeah. That's not going to be a compatible casting for that. Not for exact same universe for sure.
Yeah, which is fine. It's we suspected for a long time, and he kind of had to walk back some statements a couple years ago.
I forgot about the Bond movies. I have seen him there.
Oh, have you? That's a thing that I don't really follow, so I don't know him from. I've seen Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, but I didn't remember him from that. Like the only thing I remembered from Casino Royale was like them hitting Bond's balls.
You've seen one more than I have now. I haven't seen Quantum of Solace at all. But yeah, no, the ball scene that was memorable. Yeah. Not for the right reasons.
I saw Quantum of Solace. I don't remember a damn lick of it. I don't remember it.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. I was actually going to see it one night and my car broke down. And by my car broke down, I mean that I found out that there was a difference between an interference and a non-interference timing in an engine, and someone explained that to me, and I memorized those terms, and it went way over my head because I don't know fucking engines for anything. But apparently, the timing belt on an interference style engine, when it goes out, it essentially basically loads a comic style little sawed-off shotgun and fires it at the rest of your engine. So I was just driving, and then suddenly the steering wheel got very hard to turn, and then I realized that I wasn't doing anything other than just kind of coasting along the interstate. Awesome. This is a good day. Oh, and that was after I had just been I had just been promoted to GM and given a store, and then I was driving home from that, and my car just died. I mean, DED.
Yeah. Good luck with that extra money, buddy.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Extra money. That's cute.
Yeah.
That's
so
adorable.
Jeffrey Wright's a pretty good. I think he's a good pick for Commissioner Gordon.
I got nothing against it.
Now, all of the news says that Matt Reeves really wanted Mahershala Ali for Gordon.
Well, now who's that?
Blade, the guy that's playing Blade. He played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
Yeah,
Now he's playing Blade for Marvel.
I got nothing against him either.
No, he would have been fine too.
Yeah.
He would have been good. I can see Gordon in him.
Yeah, that's fine.
What do you think about this Jonah Hill thing? That Jonah Hill's in talks for a villain role.
I'm okay with it. I like Jonah Hill.
I like Jonah Hill. Are you of
I
the
wouldn't have
opinion
been okay with it until I saw Moneyball.
Okay. I honestly, I'm not sure I would have been okay with. I would have been okay with seeing what he did.
You want to see the screen test, definitely.
I want to see the screen test, but the talks about Jonah Hill made me wonder like what I would do or like who I would want to be in a Coen Brothers Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because
a
lot of people are saying Jonah Hill is probably going to be the Penguin, which is fair and not fair at the same time because the dude has lost a fair amount of weight.
Yeah, but as we proved in Gotham, he doesn't have to be a weighty fella.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He absolutely doesn't have to be weighty. And also, the Riddler can be chubby.
Yeah.
But I really like.
I mean, like someone's fat content we can take out of a lot of the characters. Like a lot of the characters in Gotham are so, forgive the term, fleshed out that it doesn't really matter. Like that's not an attribute that if you own that character from several other aspects, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, but he was a fat Riddler. No, I don't care.
Right.
I really don't.
I liked Jonah Hill's.
You know what? Bring me a fat Killer Croc. That'd be one formidable fuck.
Ooh.
He's already giant.
Yeah, maybe. I can see it.
They're like the Thing with fangs.
But yeah, like I could see Jonah Hill if he was like kind of doing like a take on his character from Hail Caesar, which was a Coen Brothers movie. And I think he's got the chops in him. He could do a Penguin. He could do pretty much whatever you wanted him to, really. I just, I don't know.
Like for a guy who I didn't know about until Superbad, which is a movie I loved way more than I had any right to. But it was really funny. There's some parts of it that time has not that spoiled over time, I guess we'll call it. But anyway, so from him being like a comedy actor in the like the Seth Rogen kind of camp, mostly like the Apatow kind of brand. He was great as a comedy actor, but I just didn't see him as much. When I saw Moneyball, I was, oh, this guy has a lot of range. He can do a lot of real subtle things. Like it's hard to play an interesting nerd without being eccentric. Like he was just like at the heart of his character was just a guy who really loves spreadsheets and baseball. That does not sound interesting at all, but that's what he was, and it was pretty good. And then Wolf of Wall Street goes an entirely different way with it. Like he hung out on screen with Leo for a giant chunk of that movie and did a great job with it. He held his fucking own.
Yeah.
And by the way, made Leonardo throw up on set because he fucking overfed him sushi in a take.
That's
great. Like there was a moment where apparently it was a bit of improv early on that Leo that I think the sushi was either going to stay there or that he was going to eat it, and then he improv'd, why don't you have that last bit of sushi or something like that. It was something stupid, but for that take they did it and they liked it and they kept it, and it was like sweltering fucking set lights, like 120 degree lights coming at your ass. Like it was basically eating sushi in a bath for an hour and a half is what essentially happened. And then Leonardo just threw up fucking everywhere.
Ugh.
Yeah. Cause that sounds miserable. Cause it is. And Jonah made fun of him later. Cause he was like, oh yeah, I saw that coming. That was going to happen to one of us and it wasn't going to be me. That's chops, motherfucker. knowing that I know how this is going to work out on set. That's showing a little bit of veteran skill right there.
Yeah. So I'd be okay with him doing Riddler. I would be okay with pretty much anything. Like I'm down to see it. Whatever it is. Whatever they've got him doing. I
don't know what limits there are. Like maybe I wouldn't want to see the Joker because there's already one and we're already doing a lot with him.
If they're, I sincerely hate to typecast. But if Matt Reeves and Warner Brothers don't put Bill Skarsgård in a effing purple suit, they're damn fools.
Now we're talking about the It guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He could.
That was I don't want to hear about the Joker
list that I recognized, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of them were like, oh, God, Dave, I've got to IMDb all of these people. I don't, because like so many people, my facial recognition and my name recognition are disparate.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw like I mean, maybe 3 of your names on your list, I was like, yeah. And I didn't disagree with any of the takes. They sounded fine. I just didn't recognize anybody.
On my list for who should play the Joker?
No, on your list of like Coen brother people.
Oh, my list of Coen brothers people. They were all Coen brothers actors. Like,
yeah, I gathered that, and I don't know a lot of Coen brothers films, and I figured that was probably contributing to my problem.
Yeah. Now the Coen brothers, man. I mean, I know you're not big on the Big Lebowski, but God, they're good filmmakers.
I'm not big on the Big Lebowski. I'm just not like. It feels like a lot of people are just over the hills for it, and I thought it was a great movie, but I'm not. I mean, I'll give it a great movie just alone on the "I'm the Walrus" moment. Because it's my favorite song for no reason that I can possibly justify.
Hey, one of my, or I should say.
By the way, if that's anybody else's favorite song in the world, please tell me. I've never found another one. I've never found a brother in this.
All right, I like the song.
Someone, please.
I'll tell you this. My favorite thrift store find of the past probably year or two is a Coen Brothers. Sorry, Shakespearean adaptation, I should say, of The Big Lebowski.
That sounds pretty great.
It is fantastic. Like it is fantastic.
That does sound good.
It's really fun to try and to perform it. I did it for about an hour after I bought it, and I'm pretty sure I annoyed my wife with it. She laughed a few times at first, and then it was just like, okay, buddy. I'm like, all right, I'm going to...
No, this is still fun for me. You sit right there, and you humor me.
No, I just sort of wander into the living room and pick it up from time to time and just, all right. Anyway.
I'll do a couple scenes with you if I come over. It'll be fun.
we should do some scenes for Patreon.
No.
I might.
You're gonna do your own little audio play.
I beseech you, man. No.
That's terrible. Yeah, I'll do like a scene with you just for funsies, just because that sounds silly as fuck and fun. But I think I may lose interest about the time Bethany did.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't. I'm not sure I actually did an hour. I think I may have done about 15 minutes, but
yeah,
probably felt like an hour to her.
Yeah.
Okay. Over to Suicide Squad, or I should say the Suicide Squad. Let's talk a little bit about James Gunn here. And this is not real news, but I feel like it's important that we keep stressing this point. James Gunn posts a picture of a scrapbook that Marvel Studios sent him to celebrate the production start of the Suicide Squad. He says, starting production on the Suicide Squad, I received perhaps the coolest and sweetest start of production gift ever, along with a note of how excited they are for the movie from Kevin, Lou, Victoria, Mary, and Jonathan at Marvel Studios. They made me this incredible scrapbook of our journey so far on Guardians of the Galaxy. It is a thick tome packed with memories that brought a tear to my eye. As I've said so many times, at the end of the day, Marvel and DC fans have a lot more in common than they do not. I am now, and have been for almost all of my life, both. Maybe you like one more than the other. That's cool, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy them all, or that you have to tear the other down. I know that I and my partners at both Marvel and DC believe that what's good for one studio is generally good for all, spurring each other on daily with heartfelt, spectacular, and innovative entertainment that keeps audiences around the world loving movies based on or inspired by sequential art. Let's go, teams.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much what we say about it every time.
Yep.
Any divisiveness that you think the studios have where they're making any kind of spiteful move or that they're doing something, how do I put it? Like to not to beat the other one, because beating somebody is great, but in the negative context, I don't know what word I want here. I go back to spite. Anything you think that you've seen between these two studios that feels spiteful or feels competitive in a negative way, you imagined it. I promise you imagined it. I mean, like, wait, we can talk about it. Tell me about it. We'll talk. I promise you imagined it. That's not real. They don't think that way.
I think some of them might, but by and large, I don't think so.
Like, there are moments in the history where maybe you hired a writer, or maybe a writer got fed up with how Marvel was treating him at the moment, and they went to DC, and there was like some animosity there. Animosity, that's another word I was written for a second ago.
That's a good word.
if you felt like there's some moments with people with the trade-off of talent between these two in certain ways. In the modern era, which is not the right term for the comics, forgive me, but in the modern era of actual, like in film right now, like what's happening at the moment? No, none of that. None of that at all. They don't care. They're rooting for each other. I promise you, these studios, because at the base of them, it's Warner Brothers and Disney, who are just there to make money on entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
They could not give two shits if 20 years ago, this comic book revolution that's happening right now, that we're like so much in the thick of it, that people are writing about comic exhaustion and all that crap. There's no like moral, they're not beholden to that. If that had never developed, they wouldn't fucking be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Warner Brothers and Disney are trying to make a fucking dollar, man. That's all. That's it. And I know, like, once you get into it, I'm sure they like things and that helps. Maybe guide a little bit, but bottom line is, like, if they weren't making money, we wouldn't be doing this anymore. They're still doing it. They're rooting for each other because as long as this keeps going, they get to keep making a ton of money and they keep making things that fans like, and that doesn't hurt either.
Here.
It's fine. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine.
All right, so
the wave keeps going. We're good.
Comicbook.com was talking to Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Asked him about Flashpoint Batman.
They shouldn't be allowed to talk to him.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan says, look, I don't know. I mean, if there's a chance they would ask me, I'd say yes on playing Flashpoint Batman. He says, I think the Flashpoint story look, it's my favorite story. I would love to do it. But DC is DC, and it's a constant. It seems like they're always kind of switching up who's running it and what they're gonna do. So hopefully, what I'd like to see is a little continuity with DC, have them get back on track, and then, man, I'd be honored, and I'd love to do it more than anything.
Yeah, sounds
right.
Just sounds like a guy who's been jerked around for 3 years.
Yeah, just kind of sounds like all of our issues with DC over the last few years.
Yeah,
like get it together. They're like, well, we're not gonna share continuity, blah blah blah. Okay. I understand that you're scared because of Justice League, but you have to also realize what you did with Justice League and understand that even the mainstream audience
accomplished
at this juncture, general audience people, filthy casuals who I know are coming up to me and going, hey, are they ever going to make the Flashpoint movie? People know what Flashpoint is. We all want to see Flashpoint. Yeah. We all want to see Jason Momoa fight Wonder Woman in an alternate reality with freaking Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing Thomas Wayne. There is no way that movie doesn't make $1 billion.
Yeah, it would be good. I mean,
if you have to use it to make Matt Reeves a thing, his movie makes sense. Whatever.
Yeah, never write out anything that happens in this universe. There's plenty of chances to bring it back into continuity.
And here's
I know it gets harder and harder. When you do certain things, it gets very difficult. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But it is still comics, and there's still a plethora of options to draw from.
Well, here's what I'm thinking, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, I'm not necessarily looking at it and going, oh, they're leading up to Crisis. I'm not thinking that yet. Would I love it? Absolutely. But what I'm thinking is if Matt Reeves' Batman movie does well enough,
right?
We already have the DCEU. That's continuing. The reports of its death are exaggerated, to say the least, because we've got a Birds of Prey
reference.
We've got a Birds of Prey. We've got a Suicide Squad. We've got a Wonder Woman 1984, and God knows what else coming. Another Aquaman 2 is happening. Shazam 2 is happening.
Yeah.
Black Adam. So
plenty of stuff in what I call it, Story A or whatever earlier.
Way more stuff.
The main thread? Yeah. What do you want to call it? I don't know. But
Ezra Miller says his Flash is happening still. We've got the guy from It working on it.
Yeah.
So
there is more in that timeline, maybe? I don't know. I'm going to keep coming up with words until I feel really comfortable. Then not.
So what are the two biggest successes critically and financially together in the DCEU pantheon? Wonder Woman, Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
If Matt Reeves' Batman is a big blow-up success, they're gonna want to bring that Batman into canon with Wonder Woman and Aquaman. What's a movie that they could do to make that happen that has Aquaman and Wonder Woman literally fighting to the death?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're huge players in that. Now, they would argue, or some people would argue, no, they're not going to want to see that version of Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Yeah, probably. I'll give you that. like the general public, if you're the guy running the numbers, like if you're one of the producers at Warner Brothers or one of the people buying these things, yeah, maybe you're not interested in a version of Aquaman and a version of Wonder Woman where they're essentially at war and, kind of pissy.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's coming up like relatively soon. I think we're probably going to get at least one Flash movie before he runs back in time and stops the murder of his mother and causes Flashpoint.
Yeah, all of that's possible. And to go back to what I was ranting about, these studios do learn from each other. And if you'd told me in 2009 that I was going to be seeing at some point a version of Captain America and Iron Man that were essentially really pissy and fighting each other, I would have told you I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see that. And we did. And it made a ton of money and it was good. It was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Shit. I thought it was a really good film.
It's all right.
But yeah, like there's precedent for it.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely do that. And that one isn't even like a Flashpoint. We're going to reset things. That one's in canon.
Mm-hmm.
You had to accept those characters going forward. Like they made a point of it in Endgame that part of the development of those two characters in particular was relevant and stayed.
Yeah.
Like over the course of 12 years or whatever it was before we saw that particular film, it was poignant.
Right.
It's actually one of the better moments in Endgame, that early thing with Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
Damn,
that
Ron
was.
Downey's a good actor.
He is. All right, that's all for the movie news, and we're gonna jump to a break. And when we come back, we are talking a lot of Crisis on Infinite Earths, buddy. So,
Of course, it's the big new thing.
Yay!
Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Does it not feel like we're going to be talking about Crisis until Crisis and then after Crisis?
Maybe. We're back. We're talking Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I'm not mad about that. Just saying.
No, I'm not mad at all. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
And did you see Brandon Routh's Kingdom Come Superman?
I did.
Oh,
he's got the little silver highlights. It's great. It's great.
I saw so many people complaining about the stupid trunks, and I'm like, no, man, that's perfect.
No, that's absolutely
That's
perfect. That is Alex Ross
dope.
perfect.
That is dope.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the Superman in that in like the Alex Ross Kingdom Come Superman is supposed to be, reminiscent of this jaded version of the early Superman. Like I can see no less than 12 Superman from just this corner of my office. Every one of them's got trunks. Every last one of them.
I have a lot with trunks. I've got a few without.
I made it to 10. I didn't even look at the other wall in this corner. Just now. There. It's a part of the outfit. It's an old part of the outfit, and it's nostalgic for a lot of reasons. Like, it's perfect for Kingdom Come Superman. It's perfect for Brandon Routh Superman. Because, oh man, Routh is so good at he is so good at being hokey and lovable in a way that if we get to see him do anything like what happens in Kingdom Come, it's going to break my heart a little bit to see him kind of that little bit of broken, or a lot broken if you really get to read the book. That part's going to be, I don't know, that part's going to grab me a little bit if they do that. Anything close to that, I'll be, it'll hurt in a good way.
Mm-hmm. I'm down for it.
Yeah, he looked
great. And the thing is, I don't even want to talk about all the things because they keep putting out things.
There's so
that
many things.
excite me. Like,
so many things.
Just pictures of, here's Brandon Routh. And here's Brandon Routh, with the proper Kingdom Come Superman lighting. Oh, here's Brandon Routh hanging out with Tyler Hoechlin. They're both in costume. What? Oh, whoops. Here's Tom Welling standing with friggin' Erica Durance. And here's another picture of Tom Welling with Tyler Hoechlin and his Lois. I can't remember her name for some reason right off the top of my head.
I remember her, but yes, I can't either.
Elizabeth Tulloch, is that right?
No. I really don't. Sorry.
But just all of the things. I'm just, Oh yes, bathing in the superheroes here.
Oh yeah, like all the things we talked about in the movie that might possibly happen, and all the really cool stuff that is happening. Not to take away from it, but this is one of the biggest events I've ever seen mounted.
Yeah, man.
This is one of the biggest live action thing. This theoretically might be the biggest DC live action event to date.
I actually cheered, and I surprised myself because when this show aired, I had nothing but hardline contempt for this actress and for the majority of this show. I liked exactly two things in it. Those two things being Dina Meyer as Barbara Gordon, and I can't remember her name for Mia Sara as Harley Quinn. I thought were damn good.
All right.
Ashley Scott as Huntress, I just could not wrap my head around. But I'm so excited at this point. I cheered when they announced Ashley Scott was going to be in Crisis on Infinite Earths as Huntress from Birds of Prey.
It's still a good pull.
It is a great pull. And
I have made it exactly 7 minutes into Birds of Prey. And the big takeaway when I watched it was I was like beside myself with how, like, even for its time period, this was not well done. And then like the one thing that I in the first few minutes of the first episode, you still hear the Joker laughing, and I was like, well, the guy who's doing the voiceover for Joker's really got something. It was Hamill. It was Hamill. Right. They had borrowed his laughter for the Joker for this show. They had borrowed that soundbite. I remember being excited.
They announced that. That was like a big piece of news back in the day.
Oh no, I didn't catch that. So that was the one thing that I was like, well, they did that right. And then I looked it up. Okay. All right. Everything else here, I don't have time for you right now.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish I really do wish I'd finished it because, it'll be involved. I wish I had more context there. I won't.
I mean, it's a tiny season, but yeah, it'll be fun to go back and look at that when you have time because, it's going to be a part of the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
In some capacity.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean, we don't know what parts. One of the things about Crisis is some of the worlds don't make it.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like,
some of them get folded in as part of the universe, and some of them don't make it. So, as many other, what's the word I want here? Products or whatever that they're grabbing, properties. That's the word I want. As many other properties as they're sending out their tendrils and grabbing right now. Like, there's so many. The producers should get an award for this little series that's coming up. Just for all the background work that must be involved with getting all of these people on board to do even what they're going to do.
Yeah. I feel like
some of them's not going to make it though.
I feel like there's going to be a fan backlash if the Smallville universe doesn't make it.
That one I think is like,
I feel like that one's got to be safe.
Yeah. Even Brandon Routh Superman, it could go.
That one can go.
Kingdom Come could go.
That one can go.
He's not doing anything else. He's doing something else right now as another character that we really do love.
Birds of Prey go, but we know that sometimes in Crisis there are remnants. People wind up in the primary universe who came from other universes. So I'm putting it out here right now. # save Dina Meyer.
I mean, I'm okay with I'm fine with another Huntress, and it's great that she's tying in a universe, even if I'm not as familiar with as I'd like to be. But
and this Huntress is specifically Batman and Catwoman's daughter.
Oh, that is cool too. I mean, the one we have now in the Arrowverse, I really like. Like, I wish they'd bring her back for something, but
yeah, me too.
She's not. I mean, she's not tied in like that. That's a con. That's a con in that argument. But man, she's really established, and she was really good.
Yeah, I mean, there can be two.
They made a great go of that character.
I'm fine with two.
No.
Speaking of there being two of a thing, looks like we're getting a new Atom. Did you see this? Crisis on Infinite Earths is adding Supernatural alum Osric Chau as Ryan Choi.
I was hoping we were getting a Choi. Good job.
And we know that Brandon Routh is leaving. He and
what's her name?
His amazingly gorgeous wife, who I have a huge crush on. I can't remember her name ever. They're leaving the show. They're leaving Legends this year.
Yeah.
I always just want to call her Nora Dark, and I'm like, that's not her name.
I know that's not. She's so convincing that you just can't remember any of the. No, we're bad at names. That's the real scoop there.
I am. Choi is described as a physics professor at Ivytown University, whose seemingly normal life is changed when he learns he has a pivotal role to play in the upcoming crisis. So, yeah.
Ryan Choi. Awesome.
Let's do
Bring
that.
it on.
Yes. All right, we
had a great time with Ray Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of sad to see Brandon Routh go because I like the guy.
Yeah.
But
what a way to go. What a way to go to have him as the Atom and as Kingdom Come / possibly Superman Returns Superman.
Yeah. That's a big deal. I remember hearing an interview with him on, I think, WTF.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it was WTF.
I don't know. I don't remember him being on there. Seems like I would have listened to it if I'd seen that.
I would have thought so too, and that's why it's confusing me at the moment. But wherever I heard the interview, he was talking about some kind of humble beginnings, like he was a model, I think, at first, and
yeah, those are humble beginnings.
Yeah,
I was only they didn't know I could act. I was just gorgeous.
Yeah, but in a way, it is like him and Tom Welling. I think could speak to this, like, but in a way, even like as a model, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you mean blah 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 blah. But then when you start to open your mouth, like, shh, no, you just stand there and we light you, and that's all. That's like, he was a little like, I remember him talking about he was super, just over the moon when he got Superman, and then kind of disappointed it didn't go over better. Really happy to see him get to wrap that up. Like, as a person, I'm really happy for him because I feel like he's having a good time. And just looking at those little set pictures, he's really enjoying being in the outfit again.
Oh yeah, I mean,
can't blame him. That's a dream.
I used to do a show called The Entertainment Roundtable that was on an actual radio station.
Mm-hmm. You were over the waves, my friend.
I was. And one of my co-hosts on that show, a guy named Jacob Radsberry, used to constantly joke that, and I've never seen this for real, but he used to say that every time he watched Legends of Tomorrow, he could just see this look in Brandon Routh's eyes, this like hollow sadness that said, I used to be Superman. I never quite saw that, but I do know that he loves Superman. And he over the moon playing this character again.
I think that's part of the reason, and this is a part of the story arc that you haven't enjoyed as much, but I think given the actor, it makes more sense to me. But like when Ray Palmer started, he was he was kind of a legit hardened badass in a way. Mm-hmm. That got, like, those edges got shaved off his character and rounded into this thing that's Ray Palmer now. And in a way, I feel like that was just because Brandon Routh is a big puppy. Mm-hmm. Dude's a big fucking yellow Labrador.
Yeah, he just spent so much time playing
brown lab
these characters.
They're the same.
Yeah,
I think it just seeped into his character. Like he's one of those people that when you see him, when you hear him talk, when you see him, little pictures of him backstage, and even when you see him with fans, like his persona, when you see him with people, he has this very open, fucking excited attitude about him.
Yeah.
And I feel like eventually that seeps into the writer's room, you know?
Yeah.
Or after a while, they're like, yeah, I mean, he's just so much fun. Let's write him as fun.
Well, there's the old adage. I'm not really sure how old it is, but I mean, it's old in terms of writing circles and television circles. Mm-hmm. Or the first year of a show, the showrunner is the boss.
Oh, yeah.
The second year of the show, the actors, the stars are the boss. So
yeah.
And there's a thing that happens, and it happens pretty much every show that's successful and lasts a long time. My most pertinent example, I have two. One would be MASH, because at some point Hawkeye Pierce just stops being Hawkeye Pierce and just starts being Alan Alda, and it's a slow change. But if you see like a season 1 and then a season 11, you're just going like, oh, okay. But the change is also it's also very evident in Star Trek, both original series and Next Generation, where, original series Next Generation, Picard is a very stuffy old man, or, he's like 40. He's like 40, very stuffy, very by the numbers. And then by the time you get to the 10th movie and Patrick Stewart actually has say over the story, he's riding dune buggies on a planet and laughing hysterically.
Which is way more Patrick Stewart. Now, if you ask Patrick Stewart, would you like to go on a dune buggy ride? For sure, that I think 80-year-old man would be like, where do I need to meet you?
Yeah.
Do I need a helmet, or will you provide one?
There was an argument I made to my mom, actually, years and years ago, because she was talking about how cheesy the old Star Trek was, but she hadn't seen the movies. And I said, look, when you get to the movies, there comes a point where you realize William Shatner, specifically William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and DeForest Kelley, Kirk, Spock, and Bones, are no longer playing Kirk, Spock, and Bones. They're just William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and DeForest Kelley.
Yeah.
Like, Spock has a little bit of emotion because he's, progressed towards that within canon. But really, Nimoy was way more composed. If you look at interviews and stuff, that's just him. Like,
he did have a very poised demeanor about him. Yeah, we're also talking about a guy who, had books of poetry that he published. I mean, he clearly had a Still Waters Run Deep kind of vibe to him.
This is also a guy that did the Bilbo Baggins song, so
yeah.
Some of those Still Waters
too.
Yeah, some of those Still Waters were a little shallow.
Look, you get to the very top of Still Water, you know what you see? Bunch of fucking ripples.
Right. Yeah.
I think that was weird.
I think that was a payday. Honestly, he was like, you know what? I had pointed ears.
Maybe it was like a Led Zeppelin thing, where like Led Zeppelin, I swear, like there's a joke about Led Zeppelin where it's like, if you don't know what the lyrics of a Led Zeppelin song are talking about, it's probably 50% getting laid and 50% fucking hobbits.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true. I mean, I'm not going to do a statistical fucking overview of Led Zeppelin lyrics, but I swear it sounds right.
I've seen that online. It's like a pie chart, and it says like Led Zeppelin lyrics, and it's like there's a huge chunk or like a chunk, kind of a sizable chunk that says sex, and then there's like a huge orange chunk that just says hobbits and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is real. Like he really was a big fan. They were really big fans of the fucking Hobbit series.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like Nimoy
it could
was
be like that though, where it was,
who likes Star
with
Trek.
Led Zeppelin, it went over really well.
Yeah. I just feel like
and
Nimoy,
no one noticed until years later, and they were like, "Oh my god, that wasn't some deep lyric. That was just like about a fucking novel I could have picked up."
Yeah, I haven't looked into it, but I do. I feel like Nimoy was like, I'd like to get a musical career off the ground, and I need money because everyone remembers me as Spock.
Uh-huh.
And no one's hiring right now. And I feel like his agent or somebody said, it's really big right now, that Lord of the Rings. What the hell's that?
Yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of nerds out there who like Star Trek and who like Lord of the Rings.
Who also like this universe as well.
How do you know they like Star Trek? Because they walk around with pointed ears on too.
Yeah. So I think this is going to work out really well for you. Also, here are 3 Quaaludes, and we'll see you in 20 minutes. How about it? Come on, let's go. Showtime!
All right, so sad news for Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Uh-huh.
Supposedly, Michael Rosenbaum has passed.
That's not how you phrase that.
That's
really just not how you phrase that.
Really? Because he's dead to me? No. He's passed on the crossover. And,
right.
Supposedly. And I say supposedly because I know you and I don't agree on this. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all.
Yeah.
I think he crafted a reason.
I think that as well. I just also still buy the reason.
I feel like he crafted a fictional reason. So unassailably Michael Rosenbaum. So painstakingly in line with his voice that we are meant to believe this shit. But I don't think it's true. So Rosenbaum tweeted out this message. Friends, many of you have tweeted and asked me about joining the Infinite crossover. I can't tell you how much this means to me. I'll just be straight up about this. WB called my agents Friday afternoon when I was in Florida visiting my grandfather in a nursing home. Their offer: no script, no idea what I'm doing, no idea when I'm shooting, basically no money. And the real kick in the ass: we have to know now. My simple answer was pass. I think you can understand why. I hope this answers all of your questions. Lovingly, Rosenbaum. I don't believe it because, and look, if it's true, I totally understand. No ill will at all from me.
You just didn't like the timing.
To Rosenbaum. I don't believe it, though.
Well, when we talked about it, you didn't like if Guggenheim is to be believed, and that's the other part of this, is Guggenheim is the one who said it, and he is famously a liar to me. Not that he mentioned him specifically, but he's been saying that he's been calling somebody from Smallville every day since they started production on this season.
Yeah, and well, he specifically said that their first, second, and third priority was to get people from Smallville on this thing. So I don't believe, like, look, if we had, 3 choices as a fandom, as a whole fandom, I think the averages would show that we wanted Tom Welling, Michael Rosenbaum, and Erica Durance in that order on this crossover. Now,
Yeah,
Guggenheim
I could buy that.
Someone asked Guggenheim a few days ago on September 27th if we're going to be getting any more big news about Crisis. Mark said, "Left to my own devices, there would not be any more news breaks. I want there to be a few surprises left. That said, it's not up to me." I think there are reasons we keep getting rumors about Linda Carter showing up as Wonder Woman. And I think that, they've had scripts done. Like, maybe legitimately they were just saying, no, you can't read a script because it's a secret script, Michael Rosenbaum. I just don't believe it. I don't believe that they wouldn't bend over backwards to get Michael Rosenbaum in there for a second. Like, because if you look at what he's saying, no idea what he's doing, no idea when he's shooting, basically no money. That says to me cameo. Nothing but a cameo. So he could basically come in a few weeks. He could come in whenever he feels like it, probably up to a certain point. It just doesn't smell right to me, man.
Here's an entirely plausible, I think, not even an other explanation, but hear me out. What if, when he says, what did he say? No script, basically no money, all that. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm pure speculation, but in my eyes, if it was a pure kind of cameo role, like literally we just need to fly you here, we need to, like if it was them pitching it and they just said, if I'm them and they just said, look, we just need to fly you out here. I don't want to tell you what you're going to be doing, but it's going to be fun. We don't even have pages for it yet. It's a quick thing. It's worth X amount of money. I know it's not a big deal. We're going to cover you coming in and out. It'll be quick. It's going to be painless. I think you'll have fun seeing some people on set, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And then say later, and in my head, the explanation also goes like that. To me, seems like a pitch that could also be interpreted as like no script, no real idea what I was doing, and no money involved. Okay. Alternative, maybe the thing I said. And, again, pure speculation, absolutely unfounded speculation on my part. But having listened to a huge chunk of Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, he's openly said on several occasions that he'll like carry a script with him. That's something that someone's actively asking him about, on several trips, meaning to read it and never quite get around to it. Like, he does kind of procrastinate. Yeah. That seems to be part of his profile. It's just, I get it. We all do it. He does it. No hard feelings. But it could also plausibly be that maybe that was the conversation. Maybe effectively he could have phrased it that way and it's still accurate, but not something he was totally digging. And then he also maybe procrastinated to the point where it did come down to a WB saying like, dude, we really got to know right now. And it happened to be that he was at like a family moment and he didn't want to be interrupted and said like, dude, I really don't have time for that. I have to pass.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. I'm just saying, with everything Guggenheim has said about trying to get in touch with everybody, with everything that, like freaking Rosenbaum and Welling hanging out with Stephen Amell. Yeah, that was for like creating their little wine thing. Yeah. But are you telling me they're just sitting down talking about wine? They've got to mention Crisis somewhere.
It could be.
Like, but even when you are like on his shows, he and Welling are talking about going back. Like,
well, they're also talking about it with a lot of trepidation. Like they did not enjoy being in Vancouver at all. This was a thing that I honestly, when Tom Welling talks about being in Vancouver, I feel it in my spine the way I feel it when like people talk about certain food service situations.
I know. I just nothing about this smells right to me. The no script, no idea what he's doing, none of that smells right.
In one corner, I'm saying what I described might be a perfectly reasonable explanation for everything that has transpired. In the other corner, I'm saying Mark Guggenheim is regularly full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like for good and bad purposes. And I actually really do believe him when he says if it was up to me, we'd stop. Because even for Guggenheim, there's been a lot of news about this. And he does like to keep shit up his sleeve. That's the reason I call him a liar, is because he does like to lie to us.
Hey, you know what he said today?
And also, by the way, Tom Welling lied to us too. Bold-faced lied.
Yeah, he did.
Bald-faced or bold-faced? Which one is it? Bald-faced?
I think it's bald face, but yeah. So Guggenheim today.
Didn't sound right. All right.
Guggenheim today, 9 hours ago. All right. At the time of this recording. By the time this recording is out, we will know what it is, I bet. All right. Guggenheim said, made some comment about how it felt like 10 years building, or something about 10 years. But he says, we'll break something tomorrow that shows we've been working towards Crisis on Infinite Earths for almost 10 years.
Okay.
Almost
10 years.
Arrow premiered in October of 2012.
Yeah.
You know what came out in 2011, though?
Uh-huh.
Green Lantern.
Oh.
That was like story by Greg Berlanti and Mark Guggenheim.
I forgot about that.
And that's the closest thing to 10 years I can think of that they would have had to do with DC. You remember years ago, we talked about on this podcast, Mark Guggenheim and Greg Berlanti joking around that maybe one day they still had Ryan Reynolds' number, and maybe one day they'll give him a call.
Yeah.
I know it's really just really outside of the realm of possibilities, but I would not have. As soon as he said almost 10 years, I was like, what the hell happened almost to? Oh,
that is something.
That is the closest to 10 years.
That is, yeah. All right. That's a possibility.
But yeah,
there's some leeway where like it could still be a Rosenbaum announcement. Mm-hmm. But where in their mind, 10 years ago, production wise, or when it aired 10 years ago versus how long they've been working on the Crisis, maybe that's. I mean, you can shade that 10 years forward if you want to in his timeline, but it would be really cool. I've watched that movie a couple times, and it's not nearly as bad as people think it is. I mean, it's not great.
No, it's not great.
But it's not absolute trash.
No. I mean,
and some people insist that it should be thrown away, and then all of the copies of it thrown away, and everyone who made it killed, including apparently Reynolds himself.
And I wouldn't mind it being an alternate reality somewhere in the Berlanti verse, and I'm fine with all that. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do it. I want to see it.
Yeah. I would like to see is the Berlanti version of that original script out there somewhere? Because I would like to read it.
You can search for. I don't know. I don't know.
I was just wondering if you've ever run across it.
I haven't looked for it. Period.
I would like to see it. I've heard that his version of that script was good enough that, for instance, like Ryan Reynolds was not a throwaway name even at that at that time. He was still a name. Like they intended to build a franchise around him if they could. But
I mean, he was enough of a throwaway name that he went in and said, no, I don't want to do Green Lantern. I want to do the Flash. And they said, you'll do the Green Lantern and you'll like it. And he said, okay.
I mean, yeah, he still wasn't at the like, no, we're going to do Deadpool my way status. But he wasn't nothing. But I have heard, though, that the original Berlanti version of that script was really good. And like the versions that came afterward were just like the quality degraded. That's the story I hear from people. But I really would like to read that, get my hands on it, and
me too.
See how I feel about that myself.
Unfortunately, the thing that you run into a lot when you look for scripts online is you wind up finding someone transcribe the actual movie, and they're saying it's the original thing, and it's just not.
Yeah.
Hey, so how do you feel about this? It's being reported that one of the episodes of Arrow this year is going to be a backdoor pilot for a spinoff, based on the Canaries. It's going to be a Canaries show with Mia Smoke, Laurel Lance, and Dinah Drake.
I don't know yet. I don't know about that.
I am, in the kindest way possible, in no way interested. Now,
that's not a. Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate for me. Yeah, I can get behind that phrasing. I
am a little intrigued to see what they're going to do exactly.
Like, I want to see the pilot.
I mean, we will. It'll be an episode of Arrow. I'm like, don't waste the last episode of Arrow. Okay.
That is actually like that's the part that will bother me is you've spent a lot of time building this character. You've used him as a backdoor pilot. I don't know how many times now. Just tell that story.
Yeah.
If the story you're going to tell later with another thing is strong enough, we already have all of that background. We spent a lot of time with Mia. There's plenty of background. You can just air that show and it'll be all right.
I feel like this is going to be very specifically. I'm not seeing a whole lot of this is going to be 2040, which makes me wonder if somehow Oliver sacrifices himself and saves his daughter in the future, and she winds up in the past, or like that future never happens, but he somehow transplants Mia into the. I don't know. Just random thoughts. I don't know, because mainly because I don't really see Laurel Lance and Dinah Drake running around with old makeup on every episode.
Yeah, there's that, and there's it's unless you're doing it as like a limited series of some kind, kind of like they did in the last season of Arrow, doing flash forwards. You've got to make that count in the present, and you've got this whole other Arrowverse going on. And I know Arrow's gone, technically, but
yeah, I think Crisis
that
is
time
going
slot will be filled by something else. But fuck, it's still going to be there, and you've still got to it's still going to make sense.
I think Crisis will go a long way in folding things in, and just like how the multiverse has acted as a way for dead people to come back.
Well, sure.
I think it will be also the different realities combining will be like, oh, this is how we can get the Tom Welling Superman just show up. He's like, oh, well, I'm still around. And that way Tyler Hoechlin's Superman can be over in Argo, and sometimes her sort of cousin can show up who's Tom Welling, and or oh, hey, here's Ashley Scott as the Huntress, and she's not quite the Huntress, but she's she's not our Huntress, but she's another Huntress,
but she's still banging around.
We got somebody from the future. We got Oliver and Felicity's daughter from the future or from a future that never happened. If you say that we can't do that, remember Rachel Summers from frickin' X-Men? Yeah,
I know, but that was different. And when you bring in the word Summers, shit can get all fucked up real fast.
Yeah.
Because Franklin, if for no other reason, I can bring up the word. Isn't it Franklin?
Franklin Reed? I mean Franklin Richards?
I didn't mean Richards. Sorry, Summers.
Yeah.
Also has time travel. My bad. Rusty fucking Marvel knowledge. Yeah, but if you bring in Summers,
we're keeping that, by the way, because the Marvel fans will hate us for that, and the DC fans will love us for that. So yeah,
you'll just yell at me for a bit.
I won't. It's just.
You
James
bring in
Gunn
any of those people though, and fucking
James
time can go fucking climb a rope,
But the Summers are, just as crazy.
It's time weirdy. Anyway,
time weirdy, brain
in the DC
weirdy,
universe
whatever.
though, Crisis, it doesn't fuck with time. Time is still moving forward at a rate of 1x. It doesn't really it combines all the multiverses, but it doesn't really mess with
Then how would you explain? If they are doing this, how would you explain Batman 66 happening in the 60s and then there being a Batman currently?
Oh, because things don't have to happen at the same year in different multiverses. I mean, the Civil War could have happened in 1740.
Right. So now. I'm just saying you could do some time stuff.
I mean, yeah, but when it comes down to the folded down universe where we're talking about,
you also don't necessarily
from
need
the future
Crisis specifically to fold into time travel, because you have the Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, there's that. I'm just saying traditionally Crisis dealt with the width of it, not the length of it kind of thing. It for you to bring in Mia Smoke, which is a future character. For you to bring in her and make her part of I feel like you should make her part of the present day timeline. Because it also seems like part of the fun of Crisis is you do get to shrink everything down to a singular timeline.
Maybe.
Or at least a singular existence. And then you can bring up the argument that there are different timelines and there are different multiverses, and those are functionally different things, and you would be right. Not going to argue with you on that, but storytelling wise, Crisis generally just functioned its function was to take the other worlds that were similar and just crunch them down to a thing. So the other timelines, which could theoretically be other worlds, but that's a whole fucking conversation. And DC never has landed anywhere on that issue for any period of time for more than like 5 seconds.
Look, overall, I just do not believe Katie Cassidy is going to be in old makeup for an entire show.
That practical problem alone, I completely agree. I just don't know how they're going to necessarily bring in Mia to the present timeline, but I feel like they should.
You do not invest in that amount of plastic surgery.
It's a lot of fucking time in the chair to build something that honestly didn't look that great when they did the old makeup for the flash forwards in Arrow. It wasn't one of the high points of that season. I don't think that's where they're going to go with it.
I don't either.
Especially if it's still like a version of the future of this timeline, because it opens up the like, yep, Arrow's ending and Stephen Amell's leaving and giant monitor storyline, like way above the normal Green Arrow pay grade for storylines in certain ways.
Yeah.
And then you're still going to leave like a future door open for him to just show up every now and then? Nah, I think they're going to make it more subtle. Like they're going to make it, I don't think by any stretch we're done seeing Stephen Amell suit up a little bit here and there, but it's going to be a cameo and it's not going to be that much. There's not going to be that much backstory to it. They're not going to lead up to it. He's going back home for a while.
They might, they might have like multiple Olivers saved. I mean, there's nothing to say that they're going to, do away with the multiverse. I mean, some of them might get folded in, but there might still be some others floating around for real.
No, the whole point is that the multiverse is collapsing and some of the possibilities are endlessly dead. And the fact that they even have, what's his name? I can't remember. Who's Kavanaugh playing? What's the name? Pariah. Thank you. I was thinking Forager. I was like, that's not the right part of it. The fact that they even have Pariah means he's going to witness it. It surely means, I think, that he's going to witness possibilities ending, snuffed out, full stop. But a lot of the possibilities make it into the final version. So there's a ton to play with.
I'm not expecting them to go that closely to the comics. But even folding all the quote unquote all the realities in, we still wind up with multiple realities eventually.
Oh yeah, no, it comes back. Like Crisis lasted all of maybe 12 months before it was multiverses and all that crap. By the way, am I the only one that kind of wants a scene where, like, you remember that little device that Cisco gives Supergirl, and it's like, yeah, anytime you need us, you can call. Some part of me wants Cisco to kind of like, it's somewhere near the end of the Crisis, just kind of look at that device and be like, well, guess we don't need this anymore. Just toss it in the trash.
I don't know.
And Supergirl to just fly over to the city she normally lives in just fly right over to National without any kind of stop and go in the multiverse.
No, Cisco's too smart for that. Here's what I think should happen. Kara says, I guess I don't need this anymore. Tosses it to Cisco. She flies away to her city. Cisco nods, contemplative, walks over to a drawer.
Pockets it anyway.
Puts it into the drawer for safekeeping.
Yep. Yeah, I can do that too. I wouldn't mind an acknowledgement because that was like this lifeline they left between the universes. I wouldn't mind at all an acknowledgement, especially because like that device has been a part of the crossovers. Like if all you ever watched were the crossovers, which by the way is still a fine way to exist. I wouldn't mind them just kind of talking about that device for half a second somewhere.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Oh yeah, especially since like the trailers for Arrow and the Flash are basically just Crisis build-ups. Like that's all the shows are doing for the first half. It looks like is just building up to Crisis.
That's all they should do. I mean, they've only got about 8 episodes before the Crisis starts. Give or take.
I mean, I think all these it looks like Ollie's just going from universe to universe, like visiting different,
Oh yeah, no, he's the Monitor's sidekick for a minute. He's just gonna bounce in and out of whatever the fuck he feels like. But all the shows are gonna start back, and there are gonna be some tangentials where you're kind of curious about it, like Batwoman. It's gonna be the start of hers, and I wonder how much they're gonna use Crisis as part of her startup. I'm gonna go with not much.
I wouldn't think so.
Like Flash and Arrow, I think it should feature heavily. Supergirl should probably feature prominently, but maybe not heavily.
Yeah, and that's
Legends. I don't think you're getting a premiere for Legends until like the crossover. I don't think it's actually happening in the fall.
Yeah. Now, like with Supergirl, her trailer it was way more focused on Kara and Lena and this whatever the new big bad that's happening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got like one quick shot of the bit from last year where Monitor is telling Manhunter, about his brother.
Mm-hmm.
But, the showrunner for Supergirl, Jessica Queller, said that she says, it's going to be mostly about Lena and Kara. And Benoist said it's going to be a rough season. And Queller says, I will just say that this season, season 5, revolves almost entirely around their relationship. I can't promise to make all of the fans' dreams come true. I feel like that's like specifically pointed at the slash fiction people, the shippers. But if they care about the relationship between Supergirl and Lena, they'll get a lot of it this year. Now, Benoist described it back in July, she described it as this whole season as a fight for Lena's soul. I'm down for that. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
And I need to watch the trailer a couple more times. I probably won't. But they're introducing this new character, this new bad guy named Midnight, and they don't know where she comes from or who she is, and she's like constantly ensconced in shadow. I think it's Lena. I'm wondering if it's Lena.
Oh,
I don't know for sure, but a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff in the trailer about Lena saying that she wants she's not a bad person. She just wants Supergirl to feel the pain that she feels. She wants wants her to feel that betrayal. So I don't think they're really harping on Crisis a whole lot yet up front. But
see, with Supergirl they don't have to, but I feel like they do have to mention it a little bit. I say that, but with Supergirl they've just pulled her in. Just like tag in, get over the ropes.
But Arrow and Flash, they're straight up like you hear Ollie going, "A crisis is coming."
Doused in it. Yeah.
Flash is like having nightmares about worlds getting destroyed. We even see in the Flash trailer they put out, we even see like a brief glimpse of Harry as Pariah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
God, I've got to watch those. I didn't have time before we started recording. I got to do that.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot to dissect. A lot of it's just like glimpses of a fever dream, and like taglines from Crisis that we recognize. You know what I mean? It's just a crisis is coming. Oh, okay. Universe is gone. Oh no. Like, yeah. All right, cool. What now?
Yeah.
So
again, I feel like we're just going to talk about this thing till it happens, and I can only hope. I mean, I'm going to sit down to watch the first episode of this crossover with maybe more anticipation than I've watched. I mean, really, like anything I can presently remember.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the Joker. Like after we record this, I'm going to get it edited, get it sent to you. Do the whole thing, and then after that, I'm going to abandon the internet for several days.
Yeah, that's
because
Joker.
Yeah, it's currently Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be able to see Joker until. We're going to go see it Saturday.
Right. And
then talk about it. And I have no intention of visiting the internet until then. I want nothing. And which to me means I'm super excited about this movie, and I really want to see it, but I don't know if I have as many like butterflies in my stomach feelings as I do about the Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
It's stuff I never could have dreamed of.
I know. I'm so stupidly excited, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so stupidly excited. I feel like every day is like Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, I still hate my life and stuff, but...
But the escapism part of your life, if it was like a character you were playing in an RPG, is at 11.
I really don't hate my life.
11 and bouncing out at the top of the meter on the screen.
Mm-hmm. I really don't. I feel, it was a joke. Just leave it at that. I don't like my work life. You know what I mean? Like I'm not happy with where I am career wise, but I love my wife. I love our life. All that.
Shit ain't that bad.
Great. No, shit ain't that bad.
Shit ain't that damn bad.
I'm not on any verge. This guys.
Is not a cry for help.
No, it's not. It's just I don't like having to wake up and go to work. That's all it really is.
Yeah.
And I wish I had more of a I wish I had a work that made me happier to get up and go to it. I don't want to be a bum.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm gonna call it this. I don't know what to say now.
I get it.
The show's over.
It's not a creatively fulfilling existence, that job. I get it.
Yeah. We got nothing else though, so we can actually call it. And
that's good. I've got a baby on the way.
Way further, way longer than I thought we would. I don't know how we did that on 5 pages of material.
We always do.
God, what is wrong with us?
Tell me.
Listen,
The smaller amount of actual news out there, the more we'll talk about it.
yeah. We can even talk about how excited I am about Feige going to Star Wars and Spider-Man being back in the MCU.
Oh, God damn. Those are all fantastic things.
Why would we? Why would we? Because this is a DC show. But just know, I'm excited.
Just know those are out there.
Just know those are out
hell
there.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. It's like early birthday for me when all that stuff broke. Because
I went around telling people at work about hey, do you know Spidey's back?
Yeah, that's how I found
back.
out. You just came out and looked at me and were like, Spider-Man's back. I was like, no.
No, you were questioning me. It was like, were you talking about did you get this from one of those websites? I was like, no, dude, I wouldn't tell you this. I wouldn't tease you.
Yeah.
I got this from a real news outlet with quotes from Feige. It's real. It's happening. I promise you.
But yeah, so
I wouldn't have played so fast and loose with your emotions, Dave.
the only thing I would have been more excited about would probably be Snyder Cut. No, that's not true. Michael Keaton in Crisis. Way more excited about Michael Keaton in Crisis if that happened than I would be for
Basically,
Snyder.
anybody from Burton in Crisis would have been a big deal for you.
No, just Keaton.
Just Keaton.
Just Keaton.
In particular, you want Keaton.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to happen, my friend, but I'm rooting for you.
I know.
I really am.
I know. If I could just, hey man, can I just get a Michael Keaton and a Ryan Reynolds? Can I just, how about Blake Lively? Just her. Just.
I get it. I get it. I mean, having said that, in the, was it the last Crisis where they did I think it was the last Crisis where they did the Smallville send up, where they actually used the original shoot and, or the original set.
Mm-hmm.
And did the somebody save. And I kind of knew watching it. Not kind of. I knew watching it. Yeah, that's weird. It was weird that they just used interstitial music. They don't normally do that.
Mm-hmm.
They use scoring, but not music. And they specifically use a kind of shot that you don't normally see them use, that overhead establishing shot. That was all very out of character.
Mm-hmm.
And I still heard somebody say, and I awesome. I clapped a little bit. I was still super happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what's coming for me as far as just geeking out. And I think I do. I think I need to get a stress ball or something I can squeeze.
It's so bad at this point. I'm so excited at this point. There's no way I'm not going to be disappointed.
I don't know. You say that, but I think it's not like it set a bar for itself and said, we're going to do this and this and this, and it's going to be amazing. It's just they broke news to you and said, we're going to use so and so and so and so and so and so.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, they've played it pretty confidently.
Yeah.
They've just said, no, we're gonna. It is actually pretty factual when you look at how they've broken the news and how they've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
No one's come out and said this is amazing. It's gonna be we're gonna get Tom Welling as Superman, and it's gonna be the best payoff you could possibly imagine after fucking 11 years of not having that show and 10 years of watching it and all that crap.
By the way,
there hasn't been a Barnum and Bailey aspect to this.
You know how I know DC would never let me touch anything in their catalog?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to say this right now.
Right.
I would create, and this will get out somehow. If they ever think about it, they'll look back on this episode. The listeners will riot, and they will see, let's see what he said here. That got so much. Here's what I'm about to say.
Uh-huh.
I would create a character, all right, who is basically... who's the king that touches everything and turned to gold? Midas. Basically, he'd be a quantum Midas who was connected to the multiverse, whose name would literally be Crisis. And the storyline would be called The Last Temptation of Crisis.
Okay, they kind of have that. He's called Kronos, and he's the reason we fucking got here. Do you want
Really?
ants? Because that's how you get ants.
Okay. Everything's been done, man.
I mean, not exactly. That would be a different take on it for sure. But
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. That
part
sounds
of it
really bad.
is Kronos, and I kind of hope they have something that at least touches on this. Kronos reaches back in time essentially to see what's going on and touches it, and it has like a Schrodinger's cat, by the way, great Cavill thing.
Yeah. For everyone who doesn't know, on Twitter, I said that I decided that until we get official word one way or the other on whether or not Henry Cavill is still Superman, I'm going to lovingly refer to him as Schrodinger's Clark.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty happy with it. It's one of those moments where it was like, that's why I love that man. Good job. But Kronos kind of like reaches back in and observes and distorts at the same time. But, I kind of hope we get that in a way. I think we might. Mm-hmm. Surely. Like, it's even a thing that they reference. Like, I have the cover of, Rebirth on my wall. I stared at inadvertently the entire time we record. Mm-hmm. But it references that moment. Like, it's all of the current Justice League just reaching up into the into space, reaching for like a character they can't quite get to. And there's just a tiny palm coming out of it with two little fingers outstretched. And I won't spoil for you anyone who's,
behind,
who wants to pay attention and is deeply behind. But, you're about 3 years behind right now. So
I'm pretty deeply behind.
Catch up. But
but I'm even worse than that. I read that 80 page Rebirth, but
yeah, it didn't tell you who that was.
It didn't tell you who that was. Also, with a few exceptions, mostly Scott Snyder stuff, I didn't read New 52 anything.
Oh no, I didn't either. It's a black spot on my memory.
I'm aware of it. It's not like a black spot on my memory because I have access to Wikipedia and.
No, I mean pure ignorance for me. Like, it's just a matter of I wasn't trying to read everything at the time, and I've caught up to what I came across as the occasion arose, but no. Yeah.
Yeah. I pretty much bounced when I found out they were about to reboot everything, and I was just like, okay.
I'll come back after. What are you going to do, Convergent? I'll come back after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to be over here catching up on some other things and not spending like $100 a month on DC Comics.
Yeah.
Or any comics. Because I quit DC and Marvel. I pretty much bought everything for a while, for a long time.
Yeah, there was a moment where a chunk of your paycheck was going to monthlies.
And, I slowly cut out the Marvels because I was just like, X-Men hasn't been good for a minute, so blah, and they're doing some weird shit. And I quit Spider-Man when they, took away his marriage.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I don't want to do that right now.
And things get more popular again. Like last year, was it last year? Yeah, last year, the number one selling comic across the board was Action Comics 1000. And like right behind it was Spider-Man, whatever that number was. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. Maybe 1,000. And I think it was Bendis wrapping up his run on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, shaky Marvel knowledge. Sorry.
What,
I don't do as much research on that.
I'll get back to it. I do find myself, catching stuff here and there and finding myself in a Barnes & Noble and reading through a graphic. It's just...
Oh, yeah. No, every time I actually pick it up, I read the shit out of it because it's a lot of fun. It's just, we're just back to there's only so much time in a day.
I did wind up really enjoying some Superior Spider-Man. Like, I wound up reading Amazing 700 and then wound up, I really like Doc Ock as Superior Spider-Man. I like it a lot. Fun.
Like the best beat of that, and I didn't read it, I just read about it, but the best beat of that is when he has that moment where he's like, oh my God, he was holding back the whole time. He could have crushed me.
Yes.
That was a really cool fucking beat, man.
Yeah. There was a delightful moment where I was talking to Brent of Fans Without Borders, and it was probably a year ago, where I was like, dude, Brent's a huge Spider-Man fan. So I took some pictures of some of the stuff in my Marvel room, all my Spider-Man all over the walls. And he was like, dude, I had no idea you were such a Spider-Man fan. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sick. I love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a real thing.
Oh, yeah. He's a beloved character for a goddamn good reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know it doesn't come through all the time talking about, DC all the time, but...
Yeah, I've got an Alex Ross. He does that too.
He does.
I've got an Alex Ross Spider-Man on my wall right now, and he delights me.
Oh, God. Now I've got that in my head.
Yeah.
All the little chicks with the crimson lips say, Alex rocks, Alex rocks.
No.
Living in sin with a safety pin.
Although I do remember renting that live-action fucking Spider-Man from the 80s a few times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like, I rented that enough times that I'm pretty sure I wore out that copy, like that single copy at my movie store.
You talking about the 70s Nicholas Hammond show? Or pilot movie?
Maybe. I remember it was live action Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's it.
And it could not have been later than like 87.
Yeah. I thought it was 70s, but...
Oh, it could have been from the 70s. We're talking about the VHS era.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about going to an actual movie store. And where, like, I love that the instinct hasn't changed. Where, like, when you went to the movie store, I swear you could plan an entire evening, like a date around.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go to the movie store. We'll pick out a movie. That's 40 fucking minutes.
Yeah, that shit ran from 1977 to 1979. It did not dip a toe in the 80s, my friend.
Oh, I know. I just remember it from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you could go browse movies at a movie store for some time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure. Yeah.
And like, do you remember that feeling of disappointment when the one you really wanted to see had like 20 copies and all of them were right up against the little slat wall thing?
Mm-hmm. Meaning
there were no copies behind it that you could actually grab?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a depressing moment. But yeah, you could spend all that time just picking out what you wanted to actually watch. And I love that Netflix and Hulu and all the streaming services essentially have that, that aspect. Yeah. You can spend 30 minutes with your loved one bonding over what you want to see and talking about those things. It's
the thing I miss about it is like I miss not being able to walk around and do it, because I actually liked walking and browsing.
That was nice in a way. Other
and
times,
also feeling like you've accomplished
nice
something.
If you could have just chilled and done it.
Well,
and specifically, like I remember at some point, I wanted to find every Monty Python movie.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go into another county to find some of the Monty Python movies.
Oh yeah, dude! Like 2006, I think it was. Like right, like I think it was like November-ish, like right up against the release date for Rocky Balboa. Me and my little sister. I took my little sister. We were like just scouring. I was like calling different. My God, there were still places back then. Calling movie galleries, calling Hollywood videos and blockbusters. Asking to see, do you guys have Rocky movies? We have one. Mm-hmm. We have the first one. We have the second one. Mm-hmm. How are you even a video store? And like finally I call Hollywood Video, and they were like, we have all 5. I said, can you just go pick those up and put them behind the counter? And he was like, yeah, actually we've someone just brought them back today. People have been binging it to watch the new one. I'm like, yeah, just we'll be up there in about 5 minutes.
I'm stretching the cord of the landline as far as I can to the door right now while I put my shoes on.
Oh, it was still my cell phone.
Oh, it was still okay. So you had like a Nextel or some shit.
Yeah,
and a Nokia.
Yeah, it was a Nokia.
Yeah,
it was a Nokia.
Yeah.
But so and I was like, look, my little sister hasn't seen the Rocky movies. I need to come up there and get that. I'm taking her for her birthday to go see. Yeah, okay. She's one of us.
No, I understand.
It wasn't like I'm going to force you to watch a bunch of boxing movies you don't care about. It was more of a, hey, She got really excited because she looked at a record I have, an old record of vinyl of Billy Joel's Glass Houses, and when you look at the back, it's just a picture of Billy Joel. But it was Billy Joel when he was so young. He did not look like Billy Joel, and to her, she got really excited because she was like, "Is this Rocky?" Like, because Billy Joel looked like 1970s Sylvester Stallone on the back cover of Glass Houses.
I could see some resemblance. Okay,
fair enough. I said no, but it's just as good.
No, but don't lose that interest. I promise you, I have something to bring you.
No, but that enthusiasm reeks of moxie.
Yeah.
All right. We need to close this out.
Yep. Let's wrap it
And
up.
I'm pretty sure most of the last several minutes is going to be a chasing squirrels because damn it, we need them.
Fuck it. Who knows?
Maybe
I just throw it on live air.
it might happen.
Splice in some reaction shots of me and shove it on the air.
Depends on how tired I am when you send this audio back. All right. DCOnscreen.com. You know where you can find us. I tweet at David C. Robertson. The show tweets at DC on Screen. Jason tweets at DuckDuckGoss.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Occasionally.
Well, yeah, but if somebody comes and starts talking to you, you tweet more.
No, I mostly reply a lot.
Yeah. We have a Facebook group. That's always really cool to get new people in there. We do on occasion ask you guys questions that affect the show. You can weigh in if you want to do that, and that doesn't even require you to be on Patreon. So, you know, we are very open with you guys. We really, and there's that you guys mentality, like group speak. I can't help it. I don't know what the hell to do about it. But I do thank you so much for listening, and until next time, keep some DC on your screen. Bye-bye.
Perfect.
Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnscreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.
Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group. Are you